Well, hello and welcome to another edition of the Big 12. Sorry, Moen and I were arguing and I lost who I was. Big Freaking Friday show on the College Football Mafia Network. I'm your host, Nathan Bomber Brown. I guess when you run to home, it's the first thing you think about is the very first thing you did, right? So we have mistakes made and pain to be dealt out tonight. I hope everybody is buckling up. We're going to be here for probably a couple hours, at least an hour and a half. We'll be able to talk about news of the day, which today has all of a sudden become money to the Big Ten, how they get it and where it's going and what it represents. Those are the things we're going to talk about today after we do our week 6 review quick. And then week 7 there's a bunch of big games this weekend, and I hope everybody's ready. We're going to share those picks with you guys, and I hope we have a little bit of fun on the way. Moen, how are you doing tonight? You're the love. What are you? The love god tonight?
I am Dr. Love tonight.
Dr.
For the
Love.
evening.
Okay.
Yes, and if you're a member of the College Football Mafia family, you can use the Dr. Love emote in chat.
Ooh, baby.
And we'll start this right off right here. We were talking about money. Let me get it raining here. As always, if you want to help financially support us here on the channel, you can click the little cash icon, leave a super chat, super sticker, become a member or gift a membership. Brand new members only video up in the chat or up in the webpage today. There you go. Buckshot Kids got that Dr. Love emote going on.
I love it. I love it.
Brand new video up today, a Moen Confidential. That's for the members only. And then you'd also released a video today about Big 12 viewership. So you're getting quite a trifecta today. You're getting a public video from you, Professor Wild Ute. You're getting a Moen Confidential, and you're getting a Big Freaking Friday show.
Let's go.
And Ute is not here with us tonight because it is his 40th birthday.
Happy birthday, Ute.
Happy birthday, Ute.
Absolutely.
Good luck, Ute. Good luck. This is Sounder for you.
Hey, everybody, we're all going to get laid.
I look, I've met Ute and obviously met Ute in person and his family, and they're the sweetest little family. I think it's really cool how successful they are, and we wish him nothing but good wishes for this weekend, a good birthday. He's certainly hoping for a win, Utah over ASU. That's going to be happening tomorrow night. There's news, and I say this in quotes, that Will Levitt is hurt and won't play. I don't buy any of it. I think it's just a bunch of crap. There's a guy, one of the guys, beat reporters or a podcaster guy that covers ASU that's doing a live show, I think maybe in 15 minutes or something, trying to tell everybody that, no, it's real. Levitt's hurt. He's not going to play, and I don't buy any of that. So we'll talk about that in our picks. But that certainly is another little piece of news that drops on a Friday, as they do. Friday news drops have become normal in college sports. We're used to them now at this point. They become normalized. They used to be very rare. We rarely had news pop out. We had to sort of string stories from one week to the next. Now it seems, Moen, like we're going daily with news drops over different things. And just, I think all it shows you is that the interest in college football especially, but college sports in general, has never been higher.
Yeah, it seems this season's long-term soap opera is Bill Belichick in North Carolina, but
hopefully that's over soon.
Everybody else is, well, they got the vote of confidence. That's usually the first.
That's the death knell. Yeah, but you get the special tweet UNC puts out, and it's Bubba Cunningham and Bill Belichick. They're just trying to find out when's the first plane leaving field at Chapel Hill.
Absolutely, and I think that everything else has just been kind of little drips and drabs and little stories here, and but yeah, the Bill Belichick thing, that's the one that just won't seem to go away until he goes away.
It was look, when they hired him, I thought it was going to be a disaster. It's turned into this disaster, even worse maybe that I even had talked about it in the offseason. I thought it was just going to be a made for TV event that was going to flame out as quickly as it came out of a star, it seemed like, in May and June, and next thing you know, he's trying to negotiate his way out of there. So we'll have to see. It's sad. UNC, while they might not have the biggest football tradition, They're a fantastic brand, got fans that are diehard, and you got to feel for them. No program should have to go through something like that. All right, let's do shout outs before we get into our picks.
Sure.
And the reviews. First one is Moen, who always steals the first one. That's by the way. Moen's secret removed, conjoined twin in a basket is first. Okay. All right. That sounds good. Buckshot Kid. Oh, hey, at the College Football Mafia. Appreciate you. Good to see you, Buckshot Kid. Thanks for being here tonight. You are a member of the College Football Mafia family. In case you want to know how I know that, you see that little S symbol sitting next to Buckshot Kid's name? That signifies he is a member of the College Football Mafia. We, again, encourage you to join us. We are putting out tons of member content. I can't even tell you. It's like gone up 10 times compared to what we had last year this time. Lots of content, and I think you get your money's worth for as much as you will subscribe and go month to month. We appreciate you. And out of nowhere, look at that. We got our first $5 super chat. Ricky Tungate in the house saying, just finished watching Greg's show. That would be peek around the corner. Interested on what he talked about? Ricky, we're going to talk about it. We're going to get through our picks, and then we're going to dive right into the Big Ten stuff. So, sure, stick around. Love to hear your comments.
Absolutely, yeah, Ricky. And by the way, I'm going to apologize in advance for my pick. But, Ricky, if I get it wrong, I've got a brand new Indiana hat featuring the Bison mascot on it.
There you
go. I will wear it next Friday if I am wrong. If I get it wrong and Indiana wins or covers, I will wear the new Indiana Bison hat.
So that's an interesting game. We'll get into it in a minute, but that was one of the hardest ones for me to pick against the spread. Oregon, Indiana, certainly a non-traditional game. We'll have to see how that turns out. Yeah, to say the least. Thank you so much, Ricky. I appreciate you. And I also think maybe in between shows, maybe on a previous show, he gave us another super chat. Did you see that in the comments?
He gave us a super sticker on
super sticker.
That's what I said in the Moen Confidential video. He gave us the super sticker. So I felt ultra bad, but I'm not changing the pick. But let me let me give him a sounder or something. Yeah, here's what Indiana's going to sound like walking in there tomorrow.
That's right. We bad. That's right.
Oh boy, we'll have to see. We're praying for you, Ricky. Praying for you. Everybody wants to. Anybody against Oregon, I'm for you. I don't care. Almost anybody, I guess. Mr. Ed Wayner checking in, representing the University of Houston Cougars, also a member of the College Football Mafia family, saying hi, y'all. The commissioners strike back as Cody Campbell, Darth Campbell, wanting college sports to go to the dark side. Cody Campbell has certainly drawn a lot of attention this week. He had the airways all to his lonesome last weekend. And this week, the A4 got together and kind of pushed back a little bit. Certainly, Tony Petitti and Greg Sankey had some quotes that came out and basically said he doesn't know what he's talking about. Bob Thompson, I had him on Wednesday night, and he wasn't too appreciative of some of the stuff that Cody's doing. I said this to Bob in the show Wednesday night. I said, I respect the guy though, because he's putting his own money where his mouth is. He's going out there and he's doing social media. He's doing interviews. He's going to Capitol Hill. So while you might not like everything he's saying, I totally respect the work he's putting in.
I'm going to be diplomatic and say I don't like the work he's putting in.
Okay.
I respect he's using his own money, but I don't agree with what he's using his money for.
All right. That sounds good. I appreciate that. Ryan Willie checking in. Good to see you, Ryan. Always showing up. Even if your team isn't doing very well, we're praying for Wisconsin always. Ryan Willie checking in, saying hi, College Football Mafia, another member of the College Football Mafia family. TF Williams, there's another one checking in, saying good to see you, man. Hey, y'all, go Noles. Let's get it. Who does Florida State play this weekend? Do you happen to know?
I believe they're on bye this weekend.
Are they? Okay. All right. Well, then
there weren't a lot of great ACC. Yeah, when I was looking through, I was trying to find ACC games to pick, and I think the best ACC game this weekend was like Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech.
Ooh. I thought you were going to say Virginia. That would be a good game. I'd watch that. Okay. Well, sometimes it's like that in conferences. Big Lubbock checking in, representing Texas Tech, saying not first. Yeah.
TF Williams saying they're playing Pitt this weekend, so Florida State
Okay.
plays Pitt. And I do believe I did see that, and I believe Florida State was favored by 10.5.
Okay. Well, I'm always cheering for Florida State. So go Seminoles. I just want do we have that sounder? That's the sounder we need as well.
We've got it.
We need if you have that, play that for me.
I got new sounders. I got new sounders on the board tonight too.
I'm sure you I have no doubt. Every show we do, you have a new one. There we go. You cannot watch college football in the 90s and not have this in the back of your head. Florida State every year was 1 or 2 in the country pretty much the whole season. Florida State is an elite program. Ricky Tungate, another $2 super chat saying, Moen, that's okay. Greg picked IU to cover. Yikes.
My condolences.
Jackson Johnson checking in. Good to have you here, Jackson. Contributor every once in a while, and certainly Voice of College Football has his own show covering the Alabama Crimson Tide. $2 super chat saying, note to self, let's help College Football Mafia get to 10,000 subs. Thank you, Jackson. I appreciate that. Yes, we need new subs. If you're watching on X right now, do us a favor. Jump over to YouTube and hit the subscribe button at the College Football Mafia channel on YouTube, and we appreciate you. It helps us build our brand, get us out there. More people see us. We get in the analytics as Moen is constantly diving into, and we want to get into that flow, right, Moen? So more people are seeing us.
Absolutely. You can like, you subscribe, you can comment, you can hype. So many ways you can help us. Costs nothing to you. Just a click of a button.
Absolutely. Ryan Willie, another $5 super chat. What's our goal tonight, Moen?
I was going to see how attached you are to that Billy Goat beard.
Oh, what? No, I can't because of the scar. I can't.
Oh, come on.
No,
Listen,
it would have to be some ridiculous number.
Let's say $300 to shave the Billy Goat beard.
I don't know. It takes a long time to get it to a point where I can even shave it. I don't know. Let me think about that. It would have to be some ridiculous number.
I'll tell you what. If you'll do it for $300, for $500, I'd shave off my eyebrows.
Do you have eyebrows?
Sure, I got eyebrows.
Okay. I don't have eyebrows. So
okay. Listen, eyebrows. You can show up clean shaven with no beard to a place. I mean, I know you got the scar, but listen, you can't show up nowhere with no eyebrows and not get noticed.
Well, that's why I wear glasses, because I don't have any eyebrows.
Even with glasses.
Yeah, they cover up my lack of eyebrows, and it sucks, by the way, too, because the oil runs down into my eyes and it stinks.
Yeah,
I'll think about the beard thing. My wife would love it, but I'm kind of attached to it now. So let me think on that. Certainly not going to do it tonight. Ryan Willie, $5 super chat saying thousands of Badger fans would help Fickle and McIntosh pack up their stuff and show them the door. Ryan's done with the Fickle experiment in Wisconsin.
He is the evil Badger, and he'll enjoy this, I think.
Now you see that evil will always triumph because good is dumb.
Thank you for the super chat, Ryan. I would shave my eyebrows live. You wouldn't shave your beard live?
No, I'm telling you, I don't know. I'm right this second. I would say no. I would have to think about if there would be a number that I'd be willing to do it. But I'm sure it'd be way too much. Nobody's gonna spend that much money. Big Lubbock says he's first. Good to have you here, Lubbock. Thank you so much. What happened to Sam Levitt? Nobody knows. That's the thing. He's not hurt. This is a bunch of BS. It's a psyop. Everybody knows Kyle Whittingham has played the injury report, non-injury report story for decades now. He's been doing it for 20 years. And I think this is just Dillingham digging back at him. I would be shocked if he might not take the first snap, but then I could see him running out there for the second. So if I was to bet today, if there was an over-under on Sam Levitt playing, I would take the over. I think he's definitely going to play. So we'll have to see. I don't buy it. Bob Swanger, representing Penn State Nittany Lions in the house. Have a good night, everyone. I will listen later. In Pennsylvania, Friday nights are high school football. Yeah, well, it's not
same
just
here
in
in Ohio.
Pennsylvania. Not just in Pennsylvania. Nathan Campbell says, hi, guys. Good to have you here, Nathan. Nebraska
Thanks,
Steve,
Nate.
the Big Lubbock. Well, I suppose now that ASU is without Sam Levitt, your beloved Texas Tech will cakewalk past ASU next week. Yeah, I don't know. I think the Sam Levitt thing is a bunch of white noise. We'll find out. I could be proved wrong. If it does, okay, I was wrong. But I just don't buy it. Laura Weiss checking in, moderator in chief. Somebody helps us out around here. Appreciate you, Laura. Also a valuable member of the College Football Mafia family. Saying, hey y'all. Were you gonna say something, Moen?
Yeah, I was going to just say, listen, I think even with Sam Levitt, Tech was going to cakewalk past ASU next week. So
probably. They are not the same team without Scatterboo, who, by the way, went off last night.
Yes,
if you guys
he
didn't see that,
absolutely
if you have Amazon Prime, watch Thursday Night Football over from last night. That game was psychotic.
Absolutely
You will lose
love
your
it.
minds. And everybody likes to see Philadelphia lose. They ran the tush push 4 plays in a row.
They did, but I just want to let you know.
Need to get rid of that. It's garbage football.
I had a parlay. I had Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown score, which that counted.
Did he score on that last?
He scored on that
last
one. Yeah, he
okay.
scored.
Well, I didn't.
And then Cam Scatterboo for 2+ touchdowns, Jackson Dart anytime touchdown scorer, and Goddard over 50 yards receiving.
And did you hit?
Parlay. Hit the parlay, $117.
Off of what, 50 cents or something?
No. It was off $10.
Okay. I don't know what parlays play out at. So
yeah, it just depends on the odds.
Okay. Good to see you, Laura. Thank you so much. On Texas Tech. Come on, you guys got to be undefeated when you play BYU. That's all I'm saying. BYU will be undefeated. So that'll be a big game. That'll be a college game day, I think, if both those teams are undefeated. Got to get past Utah and Arizona, though. Let's see here. Sean checking in, saying hi, guys. Good to see you, Sean. Tony Lashin. Lubbock, the Rebel Alliance. That's funny. I think Cody Campbell's going to enjoy being the bad guy for a while. I can see him totally owning that. Mr. Monkey says Kansas 24, Tech 23. That would break the internet, I think.
Listen, I love the Jayhawks, man, but Texas Tech has just looked too damn good.
They're very, very good. They're very, very good, and they're proving they're proving a new axiom that you can buy and turn around a football team in 1 year. If they pull this off, if they get to the playoff, they will prove that it can be done. Dion tried to do it for 2 years in a row, couldn't pull it off. Everybody, including myself, I'm on record somewhere saying I don't think it's possible to do that with a football team. Texas Tech could prove it this year.
Yeah, I agree. I think Texas Tech is, and I see Devil Frog, the TCUs. He's in the chat saying they don't look any better than last year, man. I don't know.
Oh, I watched that Utah game. They are much better than last year. Much. Well, they just beat TCU. Oh, no, that was Arizona State. Sorry. Who did they have? They were on a bye week last week, I think. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So good to see you, Mr. Monkey says. Nebraska Steve, the University of California Pension Fund, managed by UC Investments, is reportedly to invest $2.4 billion in the Big Ten in exchange for a 10% stake in the new subsidiary called Big Ten Enterprises. Yes, Bob Thompson on Wednesday night talked a little about what that could look like. He hadn't heard that anything was in the works, but he said what they would invest in would be the enterprise part of it. They add some amount of value. Probably the media money is what they'd be leveraging, is what Bob said. That was his guess. And then he also put out a tweet tonight that said, or maybe it was this afternoon, that said there's other properties they can assign to the entity to increase the value. This report, Greg gave us about a half hour before the show. 10%, $2.4 billion. It certainly is a lot of money. What they use it for is really the big question, Moen.
Well, I guess everybody's going to be able to use their own cup for whatever they damn well please. So, if I'm an Ohio State guy right now, let's figure out how to flood the big house. And I think we take all that money and we get some industrial hoses and a pump and we put it in like I'm talking
like
about
the
flooding.
Roman Colosseum. You want to see ship battles?
I want to flood. Yes, exactly. I want to flood the big house so we can reenact naval battles.
Okay, have you been to Rome?
I have not been to Rome, but
okay, I was there. I went there in 21, and to see how they had to get that done, with the floors and the subs, it's absolutely genius.
But I think that's what Ohio State should invest in.
Sure, why not? They're gonna have so much money they can do whatever they want.
That's right.
It'll be it'll really kind of we'll get into it after the picks. We'll get into it a little bit. Thank you, Steve, Nebraska Steve, for sort of summarizing that for us. We appreciate it. Mosito in the house saying hello, college football mafia community. Good to see you, Mosito. Appreciate you. Brickbat, another member of the college football mafia family, saying Mowing After Dark. What if the private equity deal is designed to buy out Fox's share of the Big Ten network so that the Big Ten can bet more on themselves? That's thinking outside the box.
Yeah, Greg and I talked about that tonight, that, the Fox owns, I think, 60% of the network. So that would be a huge amount of money it would take to buy that out from Fox, because that's a moneymaker. Especially with Fox One out there now, losing Big Ten network would be a huge hit to that streaming service. So, I don't know that $2.4 billion is enough to get.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, because the schools have already been, per reports, the schools have already been told they're going to get a lump sum payout that's what is it? How many digits to 100 million?
Figures.
Nine figures. Yeah. 100 million at Indiana. They're not going to want to turn around and use that to buy out the Big Ten network from Fox. At the end of the day, they're making money with Fox. Why walk away from that? I don't see that as the reason. There has to be a bigger play, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Time will tell. We won't know. We won't know for a while. But Larry the GM coming in, representing a 2-loss Texas in the house. Boy, Texas is, Manning, and I'd be upset if I was a Texas.
We'll talk about it in the picks. Because
I don't appreciate when communists try to destroy a free market system. Commie Cody. Okay. All right. I know Cody's out there doing the making friends and influencing people thing. He's trying to get friends all over. No, he's not. He doesn't care. He's a billionaire. Why would he care what your opinion is? He doesn't care what my opinion is. Dave's here. I think Fickle is close. I'd give him a year. Can't afford to fire him anyhow. We talked about that last week. What's his buyout?
I don't know, for example, what his buyout is, but they did give him an extension at the end of last season. And that's a new thing it's a new thing a lot of college football teams are doing, where they're investing or hoping, they're giving extensions to coaches that aren't successful right away.
Yeah.
In the hopes that they become successful, and then you've got them, locked in for a good amount. So
yeah, no, that's true. You buy low, sell high. At the end of the day, them tying themselves to these buyouts is just stupid, though. All it does is give guarantee to the coach. It doesn't help the school at all. I don't know who was the first one that started that. Jimbo Fisher, maybe. But the whole buyout thing is a scam for coaches, in my opinion.
$25 million is what it'll take to get rid of
what it is?
this season. That's according to Ryan Willie, and he would know.
All right. Okay. He would. Glenn Hanna, Oregon in the house. Moen looks like he's lost several bets. Not much hair left to shave off. Moen,
you haven't seen my back, Glenn.
Oh, yeah. Don't go there. Tony Lawson, extend Fickle before it's too late.
Yeah, of course.
You tell who he's supporting.
Yeah.
Chris G, Nate, always rooting for Force FSU. Okay. Yes, I am. I'm a big fan of Florida State and Miami. Always have been. Let's see. Devil Frog, go mean green. Devil Frog in the house, representing the TCU Horned Frogs. and also an OG when it comes to the College Football Mafia. Appreciate you. Rob Ellen, good evening, and go Tigers. Good to have you here, Rob. Who does Clemson play? They have 2 losses too. Texas and Clemson have 2 losses. At this point of the year is just shocking, I think.
Yeah, I think a lot of people had them in their Final Four for the playoffs.
I had
so,
Clemson in the championship game. I think
as
maybe
did
against
I.
Penn State. Yeah,
I had them
can't
against
remember.
Ohio State. So
Yikes. Yeah, well. Kenneth Maynor, ECU, tough loss for Tulane. You guys were in the game there. You let them come back and get ahead of you, but it's still looking like you guys got a pretty good team there. Kenneth, we appreciate you being here tonight. All right, let's cut it off there, Mo.
we got one super chat you missed.
Oh yeah,
here.
grab it, please.
I vote keep Nathan's beard.
There we
vote
go.
no. I vote no, and I'm going to give you this sound effect as suggested by Town Hawk.
Okay. Oh, is he the one who suggested it?
For money. We're doing it for a shitload of money.
Yeah, it would have to be a big number. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be a party pooper. We'll see. All right. Last week I went upside down, tipsy turvy, 3-7. You was 3-7. Moen back up again, 7-3. Rock 5-5. Becky 5-5. They're just like they're the parody twins. Those two, I swear. Pickles is at least taking chances. He went 4-6, and then Daniel Gygax extends his lead. So it's Gygax and then Moen. It looks like, and I'm back to 500. So it's not quite a two-man race, but 6 games is a lot when you're only picking 10 a week. There's only 6 weeks left. I guess 7 technically. We'll have to see. But Moen, how do you feel about your 7-3 last week?
Should have been 8-2. I should have picked Florida. I'm still kicking myself that I did not take Florida over Texas.
That was crazy. That was not supposed to happen.
Yeah, well, we didn't even have the UCLA game up last week.
No, why would we?
Why would we?
Reason to.
Why would we?
UCLA is a joke. Don't get me started. All right, let's dive right into these. We got about a half hour to get through 10 picks, so let's see if we can do this in speedy time. Ohio State giving 14.5 at Illinois, and Gygax again going against the grain. It's the only one to pick Illinois to, I guess, beat the spread at this point. What do you think about that?
Listen, the NCAA football guys who are all Michigan fans put this game up that Ohio State was going to lose at something like 52-3 when they did their trailer for the video game. That's not going to happen. This is for the Illinois Trophy. And I know outside of myself and the 2 or 3 Illinois fans we've got here, that doesn't mean anything to you guys. But damn it, we want the turtle. We're going to keep the turtle. And this is one of the things I hate about realignment. When we went to the division system, that used to be a fairly, I think it was almost every year or every other year we played for the Illabuck. It's been 7 years since we played for the Illabuck. Yeah, that sucks. But Illabuck time. Let's take it while we can.
We will have to see. I can't say anything about Illinois. They have gone the way of the Rutgers and Marylands in years past. They have not met expectations. I'm so over picking any underdogs in the Big Ten. I'm just done with it. Can't do it. Big Ten's just no. It's bad. Next week, by the way, BYU Utah is going to be the very first line.
We're doing them based on the times they kick off.
I'm doing them because this is my show, and I say it goes number one. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Bama, what is that? -3.5 at Mizzou.
Mm-hmm.
Me and you took Bama. You took Missouri.
I do. I think Missouri is underrated. 3.5 points. I think this is going to be a real close game. I think it could go either way. Missouri winning it by 3 or Bama winning it by 3. In either case, Mizzou covers. I like Perbula. I think he was a better quarterback than Drew Aller, and they let him go because they wanted to keep Drew Aller, and I don't think that has worked out very well for Penn State. And this is at Mizzou, so I like Mizzou.
Okay. I think Bama proved a lot to me last week. So I think they might have turned the corner. The team that I thought we were going to see in week 1 has turned around, and now it's showing up in what is this now, week 6 or 7 for Alabama. They might have actually figured it out with KDB. So we'll have to see. But Missouri's they're tough at home. They're tough on the road. They're one of those teams that's hard to pick. Every time I pick against Missouri, generally I lose. So I probably should have taken them. But anyway, let's see here. Indiana, and it's 7.5 at Oregon. The reason I didn't even think about Indiana's 7.5 points is just not enough points. It would have needed to be 15 or something to entice me to bet against Oregon at home.
Yeah, Becky Go Huskies in our group chat left a really interesting statistic about Big Ten schools who have to cross 2 time zones for a game. And I believe they were only successful like 20% of the time, 18 to 20% of the time.
Okay.
So here you
and
go.
And yet she took Indiana.
So
how does that work?
Indiana. I don't know why.
I don't. That goes using what you just said.
Yeah, using her logic, they've got to cross the mountain into the Western time zone. That's 2 time zones. I'm taking Oregon. I like Oregon to win, by the way, and I like them to win by more than 14.5.
Well, I tell you right now that Oregon at home is like playing football on an ice rink. They are so fast. It's like they're double speed playing in Autzen. So the way Oregon played in the 2000s and early 2010s is nothing like they're playing now. They're warp speed.
In the
Oregon,
defense.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously that's what has changed. Is the defense is sped up. Their skill positions are just ridiculous, though. So we'll have to see. I don't think Indiana has close to a defense to hold them down. I don't see many teams being able to go up against them. On the road, I think they can lose. Like if they travel to a place like Ohio State, even at Michigan this year, I think there are opportunities for them to lose if they did have those games. But I don't know. The Penn State game doesn't look as good as we all thought it did. Now that Penn State lost to UCLA last week, so and James Franklin, that's a guy he's in the Ryan Day position that he was last year. James Franklin, it's like Ryan Day can't beat Michigan. You wanted to get rid of him. So,
I did.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of where they're at with Franklin right now.
Yeah, but Franklin again, the buyout is like $45 million. I mean,
yeah, but you're getting 110.
That's what I mean. Are you going to take that private equity money to buy out James Franklin? You might have to.
If you want to win a national championship, maybe it's what you have to do. I don't know. Or the reverse is you threaten the guy's job like they threatened Ryan Days after they lost to Michigan, and he goes out and wins the national championship. That's something else could happen. So anyway, all right. Moving right along. Let's see here. We have Oklahoma plus 2.5 at Texas. Red River shootout. Oklahoma. John Mateer is going to play. This is game over. I don't know why you took. Can you defend Texas at all?
I can, because I took Texas originally until I saw John Mateer was going to play. Yeah. And then once I saw John Mateer was going to play, I went right to Oklahoma. John Mateer is a difference maker.
Yes.
I just thought maybe Texas,
would figure it out all of a sudden.
Figure it out. Maybe Sarkisian would do something, but yeah, once I heard Mateer was going to play, I took Oklahoma too. So I guess Utes the lone star on the Lone Star.
He is, and I will say this: another coach that might be looking in the rear view is Sarkisian. He's another guy that he staked his reputation on Ewers, and that didn't really work out.
Well,
then Ewers, and then Manning, and now Manning is, he's supposed to be this QB whisperer. I'm not seeing it.
Well, to be fair, in defense of Quinn Ewers, he made it to the Final Four last year, and there was a crazy play. There's a crazy
Arizona
series
State
of events.
should have beat them.
They should have, but
come on.
But
ASU
I mean, listen,
had that game won.
They were deep in the third quarter with the Ohio State Buckeyes to go to the national championship game. So
Yeah.
and for everybody who bitched last year about why isn't he starting Arch Manning and why is he keeping Quinn Ewers in there, I think you know why now.
Well, we know why now, but if that's the case, then how did the freight train get going in the preseason this year then? If that was the case, if Manning was the truth, why are we having this conversation now?
That's because of the media. That's because of Paul Feinbaum and everybody.
I buy some of that, but people had to see something in the kid. They had to.
I'm sure they did. They saw his name, Manning.
Yeah, I just have to believe it has to go deeper than that. If that's all they did, then they should all get fired. If that's why they picked him up, it's just because his last name's Manning.
Yeah,
they all should lose their jobs.
I'm not saying he's not talented. Please don't misconstrue that I'm saying that Arch Manning isn't talented. I think he does have talent, but I think his name elevates. You know, he might be a 4-star, but because his last name is Manning, they elevate him to a 5-star.
Well, just going to Texas gets him as that extra star. So
sure,
yeah.
So he might be a 3-star that's elevated to a 5-star.
Exactly. That's exactly. Yeah, I think we're proving when a Bear Bachmeier is a true freshman. Look, I said this just a couple weeks ago. I think this season, if we're going with new axioms moving forward, I think that we're going to see more and more true freshmen starting. You're going to see a lot more kids come in. They bring in a transfer portal guy to sit behind them, as insurance essentially, and they bring in a 4-5 star QB like they have at Michigan, like BYU's doing with Bear Bachmeier, and you go out and you win. You can win games with true freshmen if you coach them up. If you actually find the right kid. You have to find the right kid to fit the right system. The kid at Cal, I think he's got all kinds of talent. We're just going to see more of that. I don't think that's going away. Those aren't emergency needs anymore. I think they're going to feed whoever's got the brains to be in there, to be honest. Ryan Willie, another $5 super chat just popped up. I want Wisconsin to lose so they can't justify keeping Fickle. Okay. Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate your super chat.
Let's give him a little on Wisconsin to get.
Go ahead, yeah.
You know, he may not like Luke Fickle, but he loves on Wisconsin. So
do it. I love it.
I'm the only one who picked Wisconsin here, Ryan. I'm sorry. I saw a glimmer of hope last week against Michigan. The first series, I thought they did very well. I thought they did pretty damn good moving the ball, especially running. I like that big kid quarterback. I know he's raw. He's a big raw bone kid, but I don't see Iowa winning any games this year by more than 3.
They are so. How could you be a team that can never score points?
Right. This is the battle of the 2 worst offenses in the Big
all
Ten.
of college football.
Like neither one of them can figure out the quarterback situation.
No,
neither one of them can figure out receiver situations.
No, they can't.
Iowa does get the edge because Iowa has special teams, but or has a little more successful special teams. But I really like Wisconsin's defense as far as the front 7 goes. So I think Iowa probably does win this, but I think they win it by 3.
Ryan, I'm going to say this in all seriousness. I think Moen's just kissing your ass. All right. That's why I think he took Wisconsin.
I watched Wisconsin. I watched the entire Wisconsin-Michigan game last weekend.
I think Moen is just kissing up.
Okay.
I don't really care. It's fine. Whatever. The Iowa team can't score points. I don't know what they are. In Wisconsin, I want to cheer for. I've always liked Wisconsin. I don't know what to do with that team in my head. I just don't know. So Ryan's cheering against his alma mater. So
he hopes they lose, and I think they might lose. But 3.5 against that's a terrible point spread. That's just
you're right. It is. It is. All right, let's quickly get through some of the. How does Florida keep getting on these? Florida should not make any one of our picks every week. I don't get it.
Florida upset Texas last week, knocked them out of the rankings. We can argue all we want about that, but here they go. Now they're at Texas
Napier trying to
A&M.
save his job again.
Does Florida go back to back upsetting ranked Texas teams in the SEC?
I think all of us don't think so.
I think everybody agreed on that. I didn't know that everybody was going to agree on that, obviously, when we took it, but I thought there was an interesting storyline there.
Billy Napier and the Florida. The one thing about Florida, the only thing that they can lean their hat on is every year since we've been doing this third year, they've had, if not the toughest, the top 3 toughest schedules in all of college football. Every year they have to go out and it's murderer's row. It's like they're playing the 29 Yankees every week. And it's just, it's impossible to win. So, we make fun of Florida, Napier getting fired and all those things, but they're just in a tough spot. If Florida's going to have to do something different to win in the SEC, that's the bottom line. So
bring back Urban Meyer.
Maybe people are saying that.
I know.
Talk about buyouts. What's Napier's? He signed a new deal too. What's Napier's buyout? Look that up on your chat GTP for me.
I'm sure it's high.
It's got to be
draft balls,
25, 30. I'm guessing.
Probably.
Maybe if I had to guess, let's do a range. Let's say 30 to 35. Tell me what it is.
Well, I got to hold on. I got to load up chat GPT.
Okay.
Got to do a little work because I've got Chat GPT on my separate browser. Yeah. Billy Napier's buyout. And then you got to hope what Chat GPT tells you is right, because Chat GPT believes that Ole Miss is in Biloxi. So
while you're doing that, let me get to the next one because we all picked USC. I think Michigan's a year away. They're doing good things, but they're not this year. USC, they play Notre Dame. They have at least one more big game in the Big Ten. They may make the playoff depending on what the losses go to in the other conferences, but I think USC far and away, especially it's in LA. I think they're going to whoop up on 2.5 is not enough against Michigan. I don't think. Do you disagree?
I do not. By the way, Billy Napier, if they fire him this year, it's around $20 million.
Okay.
If they fire him after next season, it drops to 13. After 27, it drops to $6 million. And after 28, it drops to 0. As far as the USC Michigan thing, again, I'm going based off of what Becky told us about these statistics. Michigan's got to travel through 2 time zones. They got to go through Central Time Zone, Mountain Time Zone to get to West Coast Time Zone. I like USC. I
think that stat is true. I've always believed that. I didn't need Becky to tell me that, but yeah.
I also think that there's not going to be a hell of a lot of defense played in this game. This game could be.
Does USC even play defense?
Yes. I don't know what the over-under is, but take the over.
Yeah.
My God, take the over.
I think so. I think Michigan's going to score points too, but I think this is probably 9 points is what I would put this at. We'll have to see. The final score will be interesting to see. BYU is given 2.5 to Arizona. Moen, you took Arizona. What about Arizona tells you they'll beat what is quite possibly one of the best defenses in all of college football?
Because BYU's offense has failed to cover the last 3 games.
Okay, so but those were coverages. Let's be honest. Those
we're betting against the
digits. We're getting up in the higher. So
we're still betting against the spread and
21 points last week.
And
come on now.
And weird things happen in the desert.
Well,
you should know this.
The weather's going to be crazy. That's true.
The weather is going to be crazy, but as old Pac-12 fans will tell you, weird stuff happens in the desert. So I'm going with Arizona. Look, if BYU did a better job of covering stuff with their offense, BYU probably wins the game, but I don't know that they win the game by 3. They probably win by like 1 or 2.
Oh, yeah, I don't think so. I think Bear Bachmeier again is just going to take another step. Arizona's defense doesn't have enough to keep them down, I don't think. We'll have to find out. It'll be I can't wait. This is a game I cannot wait to see. And same on. I'm going to be watching this one as well, probably multi-screen. That would be ASU versus Utah. It's in Salt Lake City. I took ASU, but again, that was against backdrop that we just heard today that Sam Levitt might not be playing. I think he will be. I think it's a Dillingham psyop that they're putting out this. Have you ever heard of about a probable questionable before? That's something I saw from a ASU guy. He's been marked down as probably questionable. What the hell is that, Moen? You're probably questionable? Come on now. I can't even. What do you say? People
I say that's very clearly a definitely maybe.
Probably questionable. I took that, put it in quotes, put it in a tweet. Yeah, I've never seen anything like that before. So I don't know. Utah's got more to play for, in my opinion.
I agree, and I based my pick off of Sam Levitt. Originally, I had ASU, but the Sam Levitt thing, I think he probably is hurt. I don't think Dillingham is going to bring down the fury of the commissioner by trying to pull a quote-unquote psyop.
Well, what's he going to bring? Probably questionable. Is again, he said in his quote was it would take a miracle for him to get on the field. Did you actually watch the clip of Dillingham?
I did, and if he said it takes a miracle,
he's laughing to me.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think? Sam Levitt's going to come out and walk across the water to play in the game?
I think all of it is. I think it's all a game.
I can't see it. I'm sorry. Okay. I can't see it. I can't.
Well, at the end of the day, the picks were in long ago. We didn't know anything about Levitt. I wouldn't have taken ASU if I would have known he was out. I would have taken Utah. So, but the point spread is 5.5. So Utah's going to have to do more than just run quarterback option left and right. They're going to have to do some more things. And ASU actually has a defense. So the only other team that had a defense they went up against was Texas Tech, and they beat them by 20. So, yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. If Hugh was here, I'm sure he'd sell it, and I'm sure he believes that Levitt won't play. Whatever, doesn't really matter. Anything more you want to say about that game?
No, that's the reason I picked Utah. Levitt's not playing. I think without Levitt, ASU does not have as good a shot.
If he does not play, they have no shot to win.
Right.
Utah eats alive backup quarterbacks. I would have bet against that 5 times if we would have known Levitt wasn't going to play on Tuesday when I made my picks. So anyway, last game is South Carolina. What is that? 8.5, Moen?
8.5
at LSU. I took LSU. I'm not 100% sold on this particular pick. 8.5's a lot of points to give South Carolina. Is Sellers going to actually be able to turn the season around? Is really the only question I have.
Look, that's the question. LSU has proven to be inept on offense, and South Carolina has proven to be Lenoris Sellers is the only offense.
For sure.
He's not there. If he goes down, if he gets tweaked at all, they cannot perform. It's all built around Lenoris Sellers. But man, asking Brian Kelly's offense to score more than 9 points, I can't do it. I can't take Brian Kelly's offense doing that. So I took South Carolina. It's a points thing. LSU probably does win. It's at LSU, but they probably win by like 3 points.
Has there ever been a worse mismatch between coach and team than Brian Kelly and LSU? I can't think of one.
Bill Belichick in North Carolina.
Well, but that was for different reasons. That's not a true. Brian Kelly he won at Notre Dame. He was a winner. He made it to at least one championship game, right? So he did win at the college level. The Bill Belichick thing was a made-for-TV soap opera that has just combusted. So I get what you're saying, but I don't think that's a true analog.
We'll see.
Is there anybody else you can think of? Because I think he's horrible for LSU. I don't think they need Ogeron back.
John Cooper at Ohio State.
Maybe. Cooper was a good old guy, though.
He was a good
him.
guy, and he was a good recruiter, but, I mean, like,
Yeah,
he couldn't
can't
beat
beat
Michigan. He
Michigan.
couldn't win bowl games. He couldn't, you know.
Yeah.
In the years he would beat Michigan, he would drop a game to people he shouldn't drop a game to, like Nick Saban at Michigan
True.
State.
It's true. Yeah. I think yeah, John Cooper. I was gonna say I think maybe John Cooper got run out of the rail, but not beating Michigan or getting to a national championship, even to a final vote where he could win the Natty is that was his biggest sin. So
Riley in Nebraska, Tony Lawson brings that up. That's really
a good one. Yeah, Mike Riley, Nebraska. That's a good pick. Oh boy. I mean, if we really want to go, Gary Croton and BYU was a nightmare. Back in the early like 2001, 2002, 2003, and 4, darn near killed the program. So, yeah, they're out there. But right now, the one that's the hottest in all of America, I think, is Brian Kelly in LSU. That's my opinion. Okay, so that's all our picks. I hope everybody appreciated that. We try to get everybody's opinions. You guys, how are you doing against our picks? That's something that we don't ask probably enough. How's everybody doing against our picks? If you're doing well, you guys need to let us know if you're putting us to shame, because it's not as easy as you might think to make these picks against the spread, Moen.
It's not, but we're not going to be like Greg Flugar, and we're not going to talk down to the audience because we're 3 wins ahead of the audience.
I don't do that anyway.
Yeah. But Greg is gold this year, according to him. Listen. Moen's green. Moen the green. Moen's making money for y'all out here. Watch these picks. 7 and 3 last week, hitting 70%.
Giving ourselves nicknames, Moen.
Moen the green. Just like Mo Green out of The Godfather. Moen Green.
All right.
Just don't shoot me through the eye.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, so that's it. Appreciate everybody participating. We appreciate everybody being here for our picks on our Friday nights. Ute is off if you're coming to the show late. So it's just Moen and I. We know we got a bunch of people watching. Let's do a quick reset. Make sure you're following us on Twitter. Subscribe on YouTube. Turn on your notifications on YouTube and Twitter. That way you know when the shows are going to pop up, or you know when we put out tweets. We generally try to stay up with the news, so if something pops, we will respond to it. You can sort of follow the storyline there if you like. And then consider becoming a member of the College Football Mafia family. Moen, how do they do that?
You can leave a super chat, super sticker, become a member, gift a membership by clicking the little cash icon underneath the chat window there in live chat. Feel free to join us in live chat. I know there's a lot of lurkers out there that watch and don't really engage in chat. Consider joining chat. We've got some great people here, like Nebraska Steve, who says, "Thanks, Moen. I've made some cash by following your
There
picks."
you go.
He knows
doing
it's
the Lord's
Moen
work.
Green.
Moen is doing the Lord's work.
By the way,
I don't encourage anybody to go off of our picks.
Yes, I take no responsibility.
If you're winning money off of our picks, you're good for you. I don't know what to tell you, but I would not bet on my own picks. I would not encourage anybody else to take our picks either. So we appreciate you guys doing that. Stormy. Hi, guys. Speaking of green, North Texas 22, South Florida 40. Ooh. So UNT this year, they're still undefeated, aren't they?
I believe so. But you know who else is undefeated? Well, lots of people, but
I was gonna say, there's like 8 or 9 teams still.
Tarleton State remains undefeated, guys.
All right. Aren't they number 1 in FCS or something?
I don't know what they are, but
yeah, they're in FCS.
I just love
they're
the
the
fact,
same as Portland State.
I love the fact that we thought they were a cigarette brand, and this is, I did not make this, by the way. There is some tower on campus that lights up, and it looks like a cigarette. and it says it's lit. So I don't know. Kismet, I suppose.
I don't know. I can support a place called Tarleton State. I can support that. That's okay. Yeah, so that's interesting. Keep us occupied there, Stormy. Give us score updates. I still think South Florida is a very good team. So UNT better not take them for granted. But could you see UNT in the college football playoff moment?
Yeah, I could see
Their
him.
quarterback
Sure.
is dang good. North Texas QB is excellent.
Tarleton State is 4th in FCS.
Okay, so there you go.
Gygax, so there you go. But yeah, listen, I can see a lot of these teams making these G6 teams. It's wide open still.
Yeah, Memphis has lost, Tulane's lost, ECU's lost more than one, like 3, I think now. So, yeah, North Texas. I think whoever comes, I will say this. Unless there's some big upset in the Mountain West, Boise State's not going to make it, which means you're going to run into a North Texas potentially playing to win the American Conference. If they go undefeated in American, they'll get the nod. So you have to win out, though. Got to go out and win a bunch of games to do that. Anyway, I don't know who they even had. Last year they played Arizona State out of conference, maybe, or Texas Tech. They do play up. North Texas does. They're not afraid of playing bigger brands. So, yeah, thanks, Kenneth. Appreciate the update on that. I appreciate that. Okay, so we're into the show. So we're gonna transition from the picks that we had. Hope everybody had a lot of fun. Moen's head is sweating because he has no hair. We are going to move on to the entertainment portion of the program. And that is going to cover all this news coming out of the Big Ten. We might touch on Cody Campbell a little bit, getting a little debate about that a little as that goes. But just really quick, Moen, why don't you cut to the chase with the latest news on what the Big Ten potentially now, it's all potential, nothing signed, but some of the reporting coming out, and a lot of it's come from Greg Flugar, peek around the corner, on the big investment of $2.something billion in the Big Ten.
$2.4 billion at last count. And Maria Cantwell, the senator from Washington, did not want to see private equity involved in college public schools. And the Big Ten apparently obliged her because they went to the California public schools and said, won't you invest in us?
Right. So
California
no private capital, schools, no private equity.
No private capital, no private equity. It's all public capital, and there's going to be public equity. They're all going to form what is known as the Big Ten Enterprises. If this goes through, Big Ten Enterprises, they'll be buying a 10% stake in the conference. Essentially, you cut another piece of the pie. You've got 18 for your 18 teams that are there. You've got 19 that represents the conference, and then you would have 20 that represents Big Ten Enterprises, UC, Cal, and they would form this corporation, and everybody would get different shares, but the shares would not be massive percentages. It's not like Ohio State's getting 25% and Rutgers is getting 5%. It's going to be more of a situation where Ohio State may get 5%, Rutgers may get 4%. Over the time period, that does make a lot of difference. But you know, that's what we're looking at. And I know Pete Thamel thinks that this adds stability. There was a great quote from Pete Thamel that Greg texted me just before the show started that says, this is doing for 2046. This adds stability and ends realignment completely, and no super leagues.
Hang on. Let's actually bring that quote out. So give me a second, because we can actually display it and show everybody, because that's not exactly what he says. Let me bring this up right now. Share screen. I believe that's it right there. And we are on. Okay, Mo, now you can go.
The deal would call for an extension of the league's grant of rights through 2046, providing long-term stability. Where have we heard that before? and making further expansion and any chance league schools leave for the formation of a so-called super league unlikely. Where have we heard this before, guys? This is exactly what the ACC said before they signed their 20-year grant of rights extension. Yes, it provides long-term stability. And yes, if everybody's making good money, everybody's happy. But the minute that stops, stability goes away. So, but I do agree with them that nobody in the Big Ten is going to leave for a Super League. If this goes through, nobody in the SEC. The SEC is going to get their own deal. It doesn't say big expansion unlikely. Further expansion and any chance league schools leave for the formation.
Yeah. So let's just make. Go ahead.
It does say making further expansion. Further expansion would be the Big Ten further expanding.
There's an "and" in there that I think you're missing, Greg. Yeah. Further expansion and any chance league schools. So there's two different things. That's a conjunctive sentence. He's actually saying two things at the exact same time. So it actually, if you're, now this is Pete Thamel's quote. We don't know where Pete Thamel got the quote from, but this is him reporting. This is what he's hearing, is that people anticipate that it might slow down those things that we've been talking about the last few years about what realignment might be like, Project Rudy realignment, Super League, Big Ten, SEC. These are all things that, a lot of people might not agree with what Pete Thamel's saying. I think anybody who's predicting anything that's going to go farther than next week is running a big risk, because nobody knows what it's going to be like in 6 months. If they did,
absolutely,
they'd be able to sign more certain deals. Go ahead, Mo.
Absolutely, but I would say I disagree with him. Well, I agree with him on some parts. Yes, I don't think a Super League. I think this getting signed, I think it pushes every other conference to move towards something similar. Probably not the same, but something similar. So you probably wouldn't see the Project Rudy type Super League deal going on. But I think the exact opposite on expansion. I think it accelerates expansion. I think.
Yeah, you and I, let's talk about it for a second, because everybody knows I'm on record. I completely disagree with that assessment. I don't think there's any reason why the Big Ten wants to expand anymore, because there may be one or two schools, but why would you want to split up the pie anymore when you're already going to get a 9-digit payout, one, and two, your increase, even at 4% of whatever that total number is at the end of the year, is in the many, many thousands of or millions of payout on top of what you're getting from your media deal and everything else. Why would you want to share that with anybody else? Because anybody else outside of Notre Dame, we've already proven, comes in at way less valuation. So anybody that comes in, you're going to have to subsidize that addition. It makes absolutely no sense to bring anybody else in.
Here's the situation. Are you going to have to subsidize? What if Duke comes to you and says, we're going to do it for nothing? We talked about Utah at
I
the
don't
beginning
think
of the
that
show.
matters. I think those days, the SMU option, I don't think is going to be used again.
I think that they're investing in the Big Ten as a conference, or creating Big Ten enterprises. I think it accelerates expansion because I think it puts a lot of people to the post, more or less. If you're the Big 12, if you're the ACC, if you're the SEC, now you all have to go out and try and do that deal. Well, listen, if they think that expansion is still out there, do you think the Big 12, do you think Kansas is going to say, we'll sign on to a public or private equity deal? Utah? The Arizonas?
No, I don't think it
Colorados?
matters. Look, how long can you string these universities along? At the end of the day, they have to make decisions too. They're not just going to wait for that one fairy tale phone call.
Well, I agree, but I don't think that they're going to jump right away. I think they're still going to wait and see what the Big Ten plans to do. And I think this puts Notre Dame in a very precarious position, because how is Notre Dame going to correct this situation? Notre Dame is already behind the 8 ball when it comes to the Big Ten. Now they're going to be behind the Big Ten 8-ball plus public equity. How do you come up with that kind of media money?
Wait a second. Hold on. Wait a second. You just said something there that kind of undercuts what you're talking about, though. Notre Dame can't go out and get their own private equity deal. What does Notre Dame's
Knock
private
yourselves-
equity number come in?
It's going to come
By
in much
itself.
lower than the Big Ten. It'll come in lower
By
than the Big Ten.
itself, Moen. It doesn't have to
will
split with
come-
19 other partners.
I understand that, but it'll still go below what the Big Ten is making.
I don't agree at all.
Okay. Well, you can choose to disagree, but
I think if
I
you
think
take
Notre
a
Dame-
conference that has 18 schools, some of them that aren't the premier bringing in top 6 brands that are bringing in all the money, you go with one school that is the premium dollar, and they don't have to share with anybody. One has to be shared out a long ways and with different valuations, which means it brings the number necessarily down. But for one school to go out and do their own private equity deal, this doesn't exclude Ohio State not doing their own private equity deal. They can still go out and do their own, according to this reporting.
We don't know all the ins and outs of the deal.
Notre Dame does not need a conference. This does not tell Notre Dame anything.
I think Notre Dame will need a conference because I think Notre Dame realizes that they have an opportunity now to get in on the ground floor of being at the top tier of the Big Ten payouts.
And to share.
4 to 6 years.
Share.
Yeah, they're going to get some share. Yes, there's going to be sharing. But
they can lose 2 games and still get
into
the
playoff. They can lose 3 games.
Year.
They can lose 3 games, and if there's a Big 12,
but you're not going to lose 3 games. There's quite possible every year you lose 4 games.
Well,
that's the
they'll
point.
probably get in.
Why go to a conference and run the risk of losing more games when you can sit by yourself, play the service academies 2 or 3 games a year, and then you can also go out and do your own extra deals. Like, by the way, Bob Thompson dropped a little nugget saying they're talking about taking the USC game every year offshore, playing on Netflix, and that game would go for bank. One game, hundreds of millions of dollars on Netflix.
Sure,
Notre Dame by itself carries better than anybody else in college football.
I disagree. One, we don't know the details of the arrangement. So you're assuming that anybody who comes in receives no share. That you see.
No, that's not what I said.
Fund.
No, what I'm saying is, depending on the school comes in, they would come in at a reduced share. Nobody's going to come in at 100% share. That's not Notre Dame.
I agree with you 100%.
Clemson and Florida State do not even draw that, and they're the next best that are outside. So
I agree with
anybody else below us, you're going to have to be subsidized.
And I think, again, this is why this flips leverage 100% to the Big Ten when it comes to conference realignment.
Why? You can't answer. What is the question? Why? Why do you need to add more schools to your conference?
Depends. There's lots of good reasons.
Give me one. Give me one. Don't give me lots. Give me one reason.
Market size. Look at the Atlanta market. Look at how much gross domestic product is in the Atlanta market. Look at the median property values in the Atlanta market. Look at the median household income in the Atlanta market.
Do they need
it? Yes, they need to expand. They need to expand to grow. That is just the definition of the word grow is expand. Expand and grow.
But you're already growing on your own without bringing anybody in. You just proved that.
But if this thing goes through, more. You can grow more. You get a higher return of investment. You do.
If that's the case, Moen, then why not expand now? Why do the $2.4 billion right now?
I think
when you bring in these schools and you might be worth $3 billion.
Why do it now? Why do it now when you don't have leverage, Nate? Now you've got all the leverage.
Hold on. Wait a second. Let me re-baseline this in a different way. How many schools today would take the SMU option to get into the Big Ten? I could probably name 4. Duke would do it. Utah would do it immediately. Georgia Tech would probably do it at a quarter share. Arizona would probably do it for free. They're already being subsidized by their freaking legislature. Arizona State might do it too. Kansas, I guarantee you, would do it for basically free. All those schools are desperate to get into the Big Ten. So why not bring them in for free? If it's that easy,
again,
like you're saying, they need to expand, and then you take them.
I don't think
turn around and you turn them into dollars.
I don't think
It doesn't
Kansas
make
is
any
jumping in
sense.
for
It
free. I
goes
don't think
against
Utah-
every piece. Goes against every piece of investment. If you want to grow like you're talking about, you buy low, sell high. You bring in
There you
these
go.
brands, Atlanta, you bring them in
There
for
you go.
almost nothing, and you turn around and market them for 10 times their worth. And now you're not 2.4 billion, are you? Now you're 2.6 billion. Now you're 2.8 billion. So why wouldn't you do that now, Moen? If that's the reason you're doing it,
You have
that makes
more
no sense.
leverage. You have more leverage after the fact. Because guess what?
What does that
ACC
mean? What leverage do you gain by bringing them
You
in after?
gain leverage because you say, okay, we've signed our private equity deal. We've got $2.4 billion here. We're going to give some of this money out, and we're going to invest, and we're going to try and grow our brand. Oh, the ACC is going to do the same thing, by the way. But meanwhile, the ACC, they forgot that they've already signed over their grant of rights where anybody can get out.
The ACC can't do it. The ACC can't do it.
That's what I mean. They've already given it up.
The SEC and the Big 12 are the only two conferences that could do what the Big 12 doing, Big 10's doing right now.
Right. And they couldn't outside. I don't think the Big 12 could do it at the level that the Big 10 is.
Oh, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. I'm literally saying, why would the Big 10 bring in schools later if they could get them now for almost nothing and turn around
they can
and
get
cash
them for
cash
even
those
below,
chips in tomorrow?
They can get them for below nothing, Bomber. They could get them for below nothing.
Again, why wouldn't you do that now?
Not just doing a BYU.
No, why not do that now? You haven't answered my question. Why not do it now? What is the leverage? Leverage makes no sense. They already have all the leverage. Having more money gives them no more. Well, leverage against what? Nobody else is even trying to do this.
It gives them more leverage because now you can go out and start being more selective and getting these guys to fight one another.
They can already do that.
They do it already, but when you put a time frame on it, when you put it in a window, yes, you can go and say, hey, Utah, guess what? Georgia Tech's not only going to do this, they're paying us $250 million.
I need to put a PowerPoint together with simple math. I need to put a PowerPoint together with simple math that says all these things you can get for nothing now and turn around and turn them into 10x later, or let's go 10x now, and when we bring them in, they basically don't add any more to us because we've already done our big deal.
Or we could do it after our big deal.
Or they've already extended the grant of rights. If this goes through, they will go another 10 years, 2036 to 2046. The Big 10 will be tied up for another 10 years. They're going to do another private equity deal in another year when they bring in these schools, and it's going to extend them what? They're going to give another 5 years to the grant of rights?
You don't know.
What else are they going to give to this California
deal? We don't know the terms
deal?
of the deal. You're basing this deal that this is just a $2.4 billion one time. That's all it's ever going to happen. There's not going to be anything in there if they add schools, if they add markets. You act like the UC pension fund isn't going to have a say in things.
And now we're talking about stuff that maybe is in there.
Okay, well, we can talk about things that are definitely in there. $2.4 billion.
4 schools tomorrow that would bring them another 20 to 30 million viewers tomorrow for almost nothing out.
For almost nothing.
Yeah.
You can get them to pay you, and you would take almost nothing.
They would do that now. They would pay you. You give them a price, they will pay you, Moen.
Let's go
Having
ahead.
More money does not mean they're going to pay you more money. That's not how it works. It's just because you have more money doesn't mean somebody's going to pay you more money to get in. What are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense. If McDonald's making more money and they're making more money because they do a private equity deal, that doesn't draw more people into McDonald's. You're not going to sell more hamburgers because you got richer. No,
it puts more pressure.
On.
It does. It does. It puts more pressure on every other conference. The SEC is probably going to get a very similar deal. They probably will use private equity.
I would guess they're going to get more.
Probably more because they're going to use private equity. They do not have the
whatever. We don't know what they're going to do. We don't know. We don't know.
So they'll probably get a little more. But the Big 12, hey, I'm sorry. I know you don't want to believe this, but I don't think Kansas, Utah, and TCU are going to sign.
Have I
don't
said
think Colorado,
anything about the Big 12? I haven't said anything
but I'm
about the Big 12.
It exerts pressure.
It doesn't. There's no. Pressure. They already have pressure. They already have that pressure.
And this exerts
There's not more pressure.
Oh,
There's no such thing as
we're just going to have to fundamentally disagree because I think it
What
does.
is, tell
include
me what
redshirt.
more money, how that the Big Ten having more money, how does that exert more pressure on these schools that want to get into the Big Ten? They're already desperate to get in as it is. If you
It
told
exerts
Utah
more
tomorrow
pressure on.
they had to go out and get a $500 million bond to join the Big Ten, they would do it tomorrow. They would pay you, Moen, right now. So what's the point of going through later and going and then adding schools after you've done it? That makes absolutely no sense to me when you could get it right now. The rush to get this done makes no sense to me. I cannot figure out what the forces are that everybody has to get it done this second. I can't see it.
Okay. From Greg Flugar, after this deal, if the Big Ten expands with another school, the UC Investment Fund will do another cash infusion deal for that particular school to keep their 10% stake. So there you go. The deal will include more cash for those particular schools.
That doesn't change the metrics from getting them now and getting them later, though.
I
That doesn't.
think it
Just
does.
if that's a flat number, it doesn't make a difference now if you do it now or if you do it afterwards. If you did it now, you get a 10% stake. So
Here's the
what's the rush to get it done in the next 2 or 3 years?
Okay. Bomber, how much money you got? How much money you got in your wallet?
Like $3.
$3.
Not much.
Okay. So let's say you got $3 and you want to get in bad and you would pay for it, but you've only got $3 on hand. But if this private, public equity, public capital
Sure,
is
right.
saying, we'll give you the same 9 figures we gave them, and you have to go ahead and sign that over to the other 18 schools, you would do that, right?
If it's something I want bad enough, I'm willing to pay whatever the price is.
You're willing to pay whatever, and that's liquid, available right away.
Okay.
So you would do that, right?
I buy a car. You go to the bank. They give you the car to buy. They give you the money to buy the car. You're paying that back, brother. Everybody goes into debt to get something they really want. That means schools will do that right
there
now.
You go. And that's.
But that metrics
I don't
don't
think
change.
they have the liquidity.
It doesn't. You keep saying that. I'm telling you right now, Utah would do it whatever it cost. So why?
I'm telling you that Utah in public schools,
they need to do a private equity deal to make themselves more valuable.
So you think
want Utah to want them more? No.
You think Utah's Board of Regents right now would vote 100% to give $250 million to the Big Ten?
I don't know what the number would be. What was the going rate for FedEx? It was $200 million. I don't think right now anybody's getting the SMU option. I don't think there is a price to get into the Big Ten.
I think there is.
Wow. So you're turning your conference, the venerated conference, since we started doing this show, that you've talked about these high ideals and morals and everything else. You're basically saying you're a yard sale.
I am basically
what happened
saying
to all
that
the
if you could
elitist
add
stuff,
a Big Ten
Moen? What
school,
happened to the Big Ten is the best thing since
I'm not
sliced
saying
bread.
to add non-elitist schools, Nate. I'm not saying to add non-elitist schools. I'm saying add Duke. Add Duke. Duke is a fantastic school. Major university.
Them paying you to do it. Them paying you to look. For years, they've been doing the zero value. Rutgers and Maryland went for nothing, right? For a while. Didn't they go several years without getting any media money out of the Big Ten?
No, they got money and they got loans that they had to pay back to the Big Ten.
Okay, but it's okay, loans. So they got money up front and they had to basically pay that back. So that is money that they gave away to bring in schools.
But there were
they thought they needed those markets. I could see any of these schools doing a deal like that. What I don't see is Duke writing a check for $500 million to get into the Big Ten. I don't see that.
Okay.
Why would the Big Ten bring in a school that is that desperate to get in that doesn't bring almost anything to the party?
Anything to the party except it
brings
in
a
blue blood
brand.
basketball program.
That's it.
They bring in a huge amount of viewers that have money. Advertisers like viewers with money. If they're doing the media rights, they're going to want to do that. $5 super chat from Tawtown Hawk. Raising the price of a Dodge Ram does not make it any more attractive to most buyers. It is just a higher priced pile of shit.
That's there you go.
Big 8
The
forever.
town hawk
Well,
understands math.
how is
He
the Big
understands
8
how
doing?
math works. That's not
Yeah.
the point, and you know
Well, I
it.
understand how math
Yeah,
works
so
too, and I
instead of
understand how
countering a
leverage
good
works.
point, hang on a second. Let's bring that back up. He said exactly what I said, and you threw it away like it was nothing. You made fun of it. That is a fact. What he's saying is just because the
No,
Dodge
you
truck is
tried to
worth more
belittle
money
me.
doesn't
No,
mean no.
you
That is
tried
not
to
true.
belittle me and say he knows math and Moen doesn't know math. Moen knows
What
math
I'm
very
saying
well.
is you're not acting like you know math. You're saying that
Okay,
because the
well,
10
you can agree to
Big Ten's
disagree
worth
with
more
my
money,
ability to formulate math concepts, Nate. You can yell as loud as you want. I can find comments in here with people who agree with me.
well, of course. That's the
I mean,
nature
there's
of the
going to be
business.
people are in here saying turn Nate's mic down. I mean, we can all find comments on here that are going to take one side or the other. If you don't agree with my side, there's nothing I can say to you to make you agree with that side.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, these disagreements are always going to come down to a point where you go into a place and I go into a place and you goes into a place. We get into different locations where we all disagree or agree on a particular issue. At the end of the day, this frustrates the hell out of me because all people are talking about is what the valuation is, and I still haven't heard one good reason of why now, why everything has to happen this second. And
I
that's
don't think everything
frustrating.
has to happen.
Well,
I
it
think they
kind
want
of
to get
is
it.
being put out like that, though.
Well,
Messaging out of the Big Ten since they lost their 4-4-2-2, they have gone full bore. It's all about money.
and
I
no, they've
think I could
also
probably
gone
find a
full bore.
tweet from the last tweet Tony Petiti did where he basically gave up the ghost on 4-4-2-2, knowing he wasn't going to win that. Probably the next week they started talking about what are the schools that are on that list that could potentially join the Big Ten so that they could stay at the front of the news cycle.
And they also talked about adding an AQ model that every Power 4 conference got the exact amount of AQs.
Again, the storyline changed, right? They started losing one PR thing, so they flipped it and did it in a different way. I'm not happy about any of it. I'm not happy about when the SEC and Sankey gets out there and says stuff that the SEC is the only school or only conference that needs to be playing football every year, and everybody else can just take a sidestep. That doesn't make me happy either.
Well, that's, to be fair, that's what a conference commission. Well, I'm sure it doesn't, but I mean, that's what a conference commissioner is supposed to do.
Is
He's
it?
supposed to do everything to push his conference
And
up,
that's fine, but you can do
now
that
listen,
without
you
looking
can
down
make
at
the
everybody
argument.
else.
Yes, you can make the argument you don't need to do it by taking shots at people. You can make that argument, but you and I both know that's not how the real world works.
Yeah.
You have to put, you go to any salesperson, they will put somebody down to push themselves ahead. That's the way it is.
Yes.
And Greg Sankey is a vicious salesperson. He is the guy at the top of the car lot. You talk about buying Dodge Rams. He's the guy who's spotting the marks and selling them huge pile of crap Dodge Rams.
I want to be very clear. I'm not knocking your ability to do math. In the middle of discussion, sometimes you say sideways things that don't really mean what they say. So if I said that, I apologize. That's not what I meant.
No, I didn't take it personal. I'm not taking it personally. But
well, I think it's important though. I appreciate you bringing it up because that's not for anybody who's not seen the channel. We do these arguments all the time. They're not supposed to be like personal shots at all. We're all passionate about what we're trying to say, and in this particular storyline, recently I've been a very vocal minority. There hasn't been a lot of stuff that I've been able to hold on to and say, okay, this is something I can be pro for. It's more me just asking for sanity out in the world, and we don't seem to be getting a lot of that, in my opinion. So this Big Ten deal, in my opinion, is more about unsettling the marketplace and making everybody else feel like they're not the Big Ten than it is about the Big Ten. That's what it seems like to me. And the messaging that's come out about realignment and bringing in schools and a realignment list that has 12 schools on it, and you're talking about school 8, 9, and 10 potentially being added to a Big Ten makes absolutely no sense to me. I don't understand where that storyline comes in. So a lot of this stuff just It just it seems like you're swimming upstream a lot of times.
All right, we got a comment here from Jose. He says negative recruiting is what UGA does, and it works. You're absolutely right. Negative recruiting works. Every coach will tell you that. We got a super chat here from Ryan Willie. Greg, here's what I meant about Big 12 fans' temper tantrums. Nathan just had a tantrum. I don't think Nathan had a tantrum. I think he's just passionate about his belief system. And that's
fair.
Perfectly okay. I'm passionate about my belief system as well.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the Big 12, Ryan. It has absolutely nothing to do with the Big 12. I'm not talking about the Big 12 at all.
If it's just Brickbat, another $5 super chat. Thank you, Brickbat. If it's just money, no reason to do it. It needs to be strategic partner that is going to grow the pie for all. Yeah, I think obviously if you're going to invest in something, you want a return of investment.
So that's a good question, though.
Return of investment as possible.
How is the California educational whatever a strategic investor? They're not the same as going with a Redbird Capital that is a big tie-in to. That's something I hadn't thought about. Why would the California thing be better? I think the reason it's better is they don't have to give away any of their they don't have to give away any of their like private capital and private equity require what am I trying to say, Moen? They get a piece
I don't know.
of the Big Ten. They're outright selling it if they do this other deal. How is that a strategic partner? I guess that's the question.
Well, the Big Ten enterprises would be where that would come in. You would basically have right now 20 people at the table. You'd have the 18 schools, the conference, UC partners, whoever they put in charge of that. We talked about this a little bit on Tuesday. If you guys want to go back and watch the Tuesday show, endowments for universities a lot of times will invest money. Not necessarily in other schools, but they'll invest money in things that return investment to help increase their endowment, cover employee retirement funds, pensions, things like that. So they have people in charge of that. DUMAC, the one for Duke that we talked about, DUMAC is actually in charge of that. They have their own board of people that determines what they invest in, how they invest in it, how it's going to return investment. I only insulted Dodge Rams. Well, you had every right to do that, Todd Townhawk. But yeah, there's people that are going to, obviously they're going to put somebody in charge over at Big Ten Enterprises that's going to represent the interests of UC's pension fund.
But it's not the same as a Redbird Capital or a Navigate or any of the others that have been talked about previously in private capital and private equity investments. Not the same type of a strategic partner.
It's true. I agree with that.
But is all I'm saying.
I think the letter from the Senator Maria Cantwell out of West Washington.
Yeah.
I think that did a lot to affect this if this deal goes through.
They had to be talking to him, though. I mean, it was answered fairly quickly after her tweet. It's like the storyline changed like almost immediately, actually.
CFB, peek around the corner with Greg Flugar. Our friend Greg Flugar is here. Greg the Gold. Why now? Because in these days of Super Leagues getting pushed, many Big Ten schools want to secure their future together until 2046. This is the Big Ten's pushback.
But you have to have additional schools to do that, Greg. I think your long-term security is already insured, isn't it?
I think for Greg, you got to look at Greg. Greg's a Minnesota guy. Is it insured for Greg?
He's even better off.
Well, again, if we're talking Super Leagues, originally when you was going to be here, we were going to do a tier tonight of taking the best out of the Big Ten, the best out of the SEC to make the Super League. I don't think Minnesota makes that cut.
I mean?
So I mean
I don't know that they're necessarily associated is all I'm saying.
I'm saying
we're just gonna have to disagree on the timing. I just can't figure out the timing is all.
Would UC have voting rights in the Big Ten only for Big Ten enterprise business? At least that's the way I understand it. And it wouldn't be UC, it would be the UC pension system itself. So basically, UC has empowered this wing of their endowment to do this. So
Let me ask you a question. This just occurred to me.
sure.
What's to stop Cody Campbell with taking a 10% stake in the Big 12 for $3 billion?
Nothing. Go for it.
There's absolutely nothing to stop him to do that, right?
No, I
And-
mean, as long as you
and-
got, well, now see, here's the thing though.
I don't
You
think there
got-
is anything to stop him
Well,
doing it.
I think because there are public institutions in the Big 12, I think you would run into the same situation where you would have legislators stepping in and saying, you can't
Not
have
if their
private
school's going to
equity.
get $100 million payout and they're going to get like double or triple their value every
Well-
year. And now the legislature doesn't have to underwrite your athletic program anymore.
Hold on, Town Hawk. I will get this for you. You were here. If you would be here on time, man, you would hear this. I even said that I had to give credit to Town Hawk for providing this clip.
Okay.
We're
While
not
we're
just
doing
doing
this,
for money.
I'm going to send my buddy a message
We're
here.
doing it for a shitload of money.
Your buddy Cody Campbell. Try and pin him
He
down.
is. Hey, he
Get
is
that
my
$3 billion
buddy.
deal for the Big 12.
Hey, look, he reads every one of my DMs, Moen. You think I'm teasing
right.
about? I know. I talked to this guy.
Okay.
I'm gonna send him.
Fantastic.
I'm gonna send him a DM. Why not buy into the? Here we go. Might as well just ask him. Big 12, like this. Big 10 deal. Big 10. So I will keep everybody posted and see what Cody says if he replies. He probably won't reply. But it'll be
Night
interesting
of
to see.
Cipher. Bomber wants the Big 10 not to do conference realignment, leaving it all wide open for the SEC to take whomever they wish. I don't think the Big 10 and SEC are in that much competition outside of North Carolina and Virginia.
No, what? No. What I want is it has nothing to do with conferences at all. To be very clear, if you're new around here, you might not know that. I don't think we need conferences to do the best college football division, and that division can exist anywhere from 48 to 72 schools. I don't think we need it. 68 is the magic number. That's half of the existing 136. If you didn't know that, I did the math, and that includes all the autonomous 4 plus Notre Dame. That's interesting. That 50% number is big in my opinion because it would potentially bust up any chances of the challenges from the antitrust challenges if, say, you bring in 4 schools from the G6. And you move along, and that's how you build your best conference. Has nothing to do with the conferences. It's outside of it, and I call it the Super League. So that's where I would like to see it. It has nothing to do with any of the conference. I don't think the conferences need to realign anymore. That's my opinion.
Sean wants to do a Jerry Maguire. I don't have any Jerry Maguire sounders on here. I'm not a Tom Cruise fan. But this is as close as you're probably going to get.
Tell them to bring me my money.
Larry the GM wants the Big 12 is reportedly worth $8 billion. So is he buying 40%?
Like I said, I'm going to ask him. We're going to find out. We're going to find out if he replies. I think that he might just put me on ban if I ask him this question, but I think it's a fair question. Whatever. It's not like he's coming on my show yet, so I'd love to see him. I'd love to talk to him. Everything he's doing, I find fascinating. So, Cody Campbell is all of us. Just so everybody knows, you might hate on him, you might not like him, but if you had $48 billion, I can imagine everybody's watching this stream right now and everybody watching on demand. If you had $48 billion, you'd be doing everything you could to help your school first, and then your school again, maybe your conference, and maybe you'd be talking to other conferences about your school, but you'd be doing everything you could to promote I would absolutely, I would love to underwrite BYU's entire football program with billions of dollars.
I completely agree with that. I have no problem with him helping Texas Tech, helping his school. He spent big money on NIL. My problem is wrapping it in a false narrative that he wants to help conferences first and foremost. Help.
Yeah, I don't know. That came out of left field for all of us, right? We didn't see that coming.
Hey, you want to help Texas Tech? By all means, help Texas Tech. I don't blame you. I don't blame him for that. I just don't like doing it under false pretenses, or what I consider false pretenses. Tom Cruise in Tropic Thunder was his best work. Second best work. Best work, Frank T.J. Mackey in Magnolia. He should have won the Oscar for that role.
All right. Question out.
What's that?
I said question out. I sent him a message. We'll find out if Cody's watching tonight. I sent you a message, Cody.
Sorry, I disagree with the government interference plans.
Okay, hold. That's not. Look, that's been mischaracterized. No. That's been mischaracterized. If you actually read his proposal, it said it's a debate. He's asking questions. He wants to engage people. He said one thing we could do. He didn't say he's asking the government to come in and change anything except for the Broadcasting Act. That's the only thing he's asked to do. And that Broadcasting Act change by itself doesn't change anything. I asked Bob Thompson that on Wednesday night. If you missed the interview, for one thing, Bob Thompson is the smartest guy. He's a billion times smarter than any other person you can watch on YouTube. And he knows how all this inside baseball stuff works, certainly in the Big Ten. And he thinks that just doing a change on that deal doesn't really change anything. It would require the conferences to get together to make a big change on their own. So just changing the act itself, all it does is take down the guardrails so that other things could happen. So people like Moen over here saying that, yes, it's government interference and he's taken over and all this other, that's not true. That's all counter programming. If you actually would take the time to read actually what he said in his interviews and whatnot, he's saying something a lot less than that.
Is this the one I missed, Town Hawk? TT, Texas Tech has guns up, but Daniels has a cannon. Kansas by 8.
What?
That's what he's calling a shot.
Man, I don't know. Jaden Daniels.
Appreciate the $2, but if you think Kansas
Texas Tech's defense is for real. Texas Tech defense is for real.
I can't imagine what that would be. The alt. Appreciate the $2, Town Hawk, but by all means, if you believe that, take Kansas with the alt spread at -8. I mean,
they would have to. They would have to be +3 in the turnover margin to even be close in that game, I think. Yeah. That's tough.
Ryan Willie, the Evil Badger, has a question for you. Bomber, if you're a capitalist, why do you support a socialistic plan?
Again, I'm not saying there's no plan for me to support. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying I support the conversation. If there's anything you guys should know by now is I love to argue. I love to debate. I love the conversation. I love disagreeing with people. I do lose control of my voice at times, but it doesn't take away from the enjoyment that I have about talking to people. And I think the fact that we sort of downplay the idea of even having conversations over things. People are threatened by even talking about stuff. That's what bothers me. So I am a huge meritocracy. It's been my whole life. Capitalist is how I've raised my family. I think there are some things that we can get out of socialized governance, but in general, that's not something I'm for. At the end of the day, I'm not asking for equality. That word does not come out of my mouth unless it's in reference like this. I don't think everything needs to be equal and share and fair. There is no fair. There is no equal. Go out and get what you can get, and tell everybody else to shut the hell up, which is one of the reasons why I think NIL is great, because it's the ultimate capitalist type thing. So I'm not, I am absolutely on one side of the fence there. All I'm saying is, in this one regard, I think there might be some things that we can learn, and looking at it from a different angle is where we all need to be. That's my opinion.
Town Hawk says, I am in Texas. Got a bet in a back alley. You know what, Town Hawk? After the show, I'm going to place that bet on my phone for $5.
No,
we'll see if it hits. And if it hits,
betting on your phone on the show.
I'm not buying any, but I'm not advertising gambling. I'm
Okay.
just saying he's got to do it in a back alley. That's the best way to do it, in my opinion.
Okay. All right.
But I will do it. I will place the bet with Kansas at -7.5 as the alt spread. And I'm sure the odds are going to be plus 2,000, plus 3,000, plus 4,000 for that to happen. But we'll see.
One more super chat, and then I got a jet mowing. College Football Express, $2. Good to have you here. I'm not sure. I'm sure that's probably Rock and Rant, but it might be Miami Flow. Good to have you here, guys. UCLA calling Washington says you can keep Jed.
Yeah, that's definitely Rock and Rant. His significant other is a UCLA alum.
UCLA, man, they broke a lot of hearts last week. I'll tell you that right.
Didn't break mine.
I think it's funny. All right, Moen, I gotta go. Thanks everybody for being here. Moen and I, before the show, just so you know, we were preloaded for this conversation tonight. We already knew this was going to be interesting. I hope it was entertaining. You can take exception with what we're saying is our opinion, but certainly we're not just guessing, right? We're taking the stuff that's happened before, trying to make our own estimations and putting them out there. Take them for what you will. I don't mind being the lone guy holding down one side of the fort, but I appreciate everybody being here tonight. Moen, have you met your goal yet?
Oh, to shave my eyebrows? No, I think we need a new goal to wax Nate's beard.
I'm telling you, that's yeah. You guys can keep asking for that. It's not going to happen. I've got other reasons.
That's going to be a plane ticket for me to go to Salt Lake City and just wax that myself. Hit that with the old hot
now
wax.
if we did something crazy like you, I don't know. We could. we'll have to see. I don't know. Well, like I said, everybody makes fun of me for it, but I like it. I like it. It makes me look something. Anyway, appreciate everybody. Have a great weekend. Hopefully your teams win, unless you're Arizona. And let's get through the weekend, and I will see you next week. I'm not sure if it's Tuesday or Wednesday next week, but we will catch you then. Moen, have a good weekend. Hopefully Ohio State wins, right? Got to cover.
Oh, got to get that Illy buck. I don't even care if they come or not. I just want to make sure that we continue to hold on to the Illy buck.
There we go. The Illy buck. Never heard of the thing. Never will again, probably. All right. Everybody else, stay out of trouble. We will talk to you soon. Peace.
All right. Thanks, Nate. Oh, I don't like doing that extreme close up. I've got to play a sounder here for College Football Express. I didn't play this while Nate was here because, I know he's got a relationship with Cody Campbell, but I don't like the guy. So whenever anybody brings up a Cody Campbell, I think of this.
I coalesce the vapor of human experience into a viable and logical comprehension.
Oh, a bullshit artist.
That's right, a bullshit artist. Town Hawk says you are all quasi-socialist, Medicare, Social Security, etc. Yeah, there's socialism in everyday life, but I mean, for what Cody Campbell and Nate can argue it all he wants, I believe that it does say in part of his plan that he wants a government. I forget how it's worded, but it's the exact same way the U.S. Postal Service works. And you know how well the U.S. Postal Service works. So, Carne Asada Super, I'm jealous. So if a business isn't expanding, improving efficiency, or finding new ways to create value, it's effectively losing ground, even if its numbers look stable in the short term. I 100% agree with you. Public schools or welfare schools. Don't be a commie. Cheer for private schools. Most universities aren't capitalistic. They're mostly nonprofits. Detroit 2, Seattle 1, top of the 6th. Go Seattle, because Detroit is in Michigan, and I don't like Michigan. Trying to look through here, guys. We didn't star any of these, so I'm just trying to. Trouble in University of North Carolina football paradise. Well, not for Jordan Hudson. I'm not sure public entity, public unit. Okay, we did. They're tied into the states they're in. GT Mafia drank. I have not. I have to abstain from alcohol for a while. Last week on the show, I drank an entire bottle of whiskey, and that was my goodbye with whiskey until December. So, but after that, it's going to be hello whiskey, and my tolerance will be lowered. It'll be fantastic. Kansas QB looks elite. He is so good, but Texas Tech is more well-rounded. I think Texas Tech has a really good defense. Sorry, Mo and Nathan brought out the evil badger. Well, I played this earlier, but I'll play it again.
Now you see that evil will always triumph because good is dumb.
Isn't that the perfect sounder for that? I think we're going to wrap this up here tonight, guys. I want to thank everybody who contributed, and I want to let everybody know what we got going on. Sunday, it'll be Mowing After Dark with myself on Rock and Rant. And 2 weeks from Thursday will be the next Mowing Confidential. That'll be part 2 of the Big Money Market Series. Guess who we're going to be looking at? We're going to be looking at Kansas University. We're going to be looking at TCU's media market and markets. We're going to be looking at Lubbock, Texas for Texas Tech. We're going to be looking at Denver for Colorado. And then 2 weeks after that will be part 3, where we look at Salt Lake City, the Arizona schools, and the Bay Area schools. So definitely something to tune in for if you're a member. I will let everybody else know that Nate should have a show on Tuesday, Bombers Blitz. Check that out. As always, before you guys leave tonight, if you would, make sure you give us a like, a subscribe, a comment. If you're watching us over on X, we've got quite a few watchers on X. Jump on over, give us a like, give us a subscribe. Those things help us out immensely in the algorithm. Also use the hype button if you're on a mobile device. Those help us out as well. I want to thank everybody who donated tonight, starting with Ricky Tungate, the Indiana Hoosier. Let's play him a little Hoosier music. He needs it. He needs it because Greg picked Indiana to cover. Oh, unlucky guy. Unlucky guy. And Jackson Johnson, let's thank him as well. Ryan Willie, the evil badger, he let his evil side out tonight. By the way, like and retweet the post that is on the CFB Mafia Twitter. Mustelids or must-haves, let's get Illinois an Otter mascot to join those Badgers and those Wolverines. Town Hawk, thank you very much. Ryan Willie again, Brickbat, Greg Flugard, Daniel Gygax, Town Hawk, CFB Express, Town Hawk again. A lot of repeat in here. I love to see it. I love you guys. Love the community. Thanks for letting everybody. Thanks for everybody for listening to our argument tonight. And I will catch you on Sunday. Until then, peace out.